This is Michael Scott Hollash with the Reform Report, and this is an exclusive interview with former Bonanno crime family gangster Gene Borrello. Gene is the most recent removed subject from the street that we've had an opportunity to sit down with and interview, so this will offer a unique perspective and insight into today's working of the New York Mafia. It will also provide insight into Gene's experiences working directly under renowned Bonanno crime family gangsters Ronnie G. Alonzo and Vinny Asaro as a primary enforcer and collector for the family. Before we jump into the interview, I want to give a very special thank you to our PayPal and Patreon crew, Anthony Sparacino, James Francis, Gianna Capriatto, and my longtime friend Dave. For the rest of you guys, I want to thank each and every one of you who continue to tune in, and I would just ask if you know of any friends or family that would be interested in the content that we continue to provide, please share our videos with them. Let them know to subscribe and hit the notification bell so they can be notified when any new content is posted. So without further ado, here is my interview with Gene Borrello. Gene Borrello, we're sitting here with, who is now a former enforcer of the Bonanno crime family up in New York. How long have you been out of, any active activity?
Since 2014, I came off the street. That's when I was locked up.
Okay, 2014. So for our listeners, obviously the previous gentlemen that we've interviewed are guys who have been off the street anywhere from, 15 to 10, I think is probably the most recent. Yeah. Right. So you're actually, I don't even think we have anybody even that right. Modern. So you're right. You have a fresh perspective of gentlemen who are actually still active, many of who aren't, locked up, and then some of those who are locked up are still active too.
Right.
So just give me a little bit of background on you, right. On your family, and kind of how you got involved in organized crime.
So so I was born basically in Brooklyn, whatever, and I came up, moved out in Brooklyn when I was about 10 years old to Ozone Park and then the Howard Beach area, but I was related to Davey Stead, that's my great uncle. His son is actually my cousin, and I actually ended up not going with the Gambino family. I actually ended up going with the Bonanno family because my uncle had died when I was 15 years old, so basically I had the opportunity to work for him, and my cousin was in jail serving time because he was always in jail. But so basically I hopped along with Vinny Asaro and Ronnie G. Alonzo in the Bonanno family when I was about 19 years old.
Right, so how did you get hooked up with them initially?
Then Vinny's great nephew and Ronnie's nephew, his brother's son Bobby G was my best friend, and that's me and him were basically running around doing everything together, and that's how we got noticed. We were doing, a lot of stick-ups, a lot of bad stuff, and then Ronnie pulled us in.
And obviously those are two very well-known names that have been, on the street for a very long time.
Vinny Asaro is like a Bonanno, legend.
Right, absolutely. Yeah. And for, the people who are a fan of the Goodfellas movie, and it was in the media, kind of in recent time that Vinny Asaro was connected to the Lufthansa heist, the airline, and supposedly he's the last person I think still alive that had any kind of pretty much right. Direct involvement in that.
Right, the guy Danny Rizzo died. He was a part of it too, but he died, and then there was just Vinny left, and that was it, the last of it.
I would imagine that that's what they were trying to get out of him in these indictments, to see if they could get him the fold, to kind of see where any of that money potentially was placed, or.
Well, yeah, that's been long gone. For him, he'll always tell you that he blew that money 2 months later.
Right? $6 million when you have to cut it up, it doesn't go,
Well, no, they didn't cut it up. They pretty much killed everybody and took whatever they could take.
Absolutely, right. Of course, right. Yeah, because they obviously portrayed that in the film as well.
Yeah, that was good, yeah. Right. They didn't want to give it to nobody, so basically, Vinny, as he told me, came out with $800,000.
Wow.
That's what he got, his end. That's what he got out of it, out of his mouth, his own mouth.
Well, another thing he got out of it is that he lived, so right. He's one of the guys who got his life spared, so that actually says a lot for who he, was at that time, too, so he must have carried some weight at that time as well,
Right.
So, yeah, very interesting. So, did you, so you had direct involvement with him?
Yes, I worked directly for him.
So you were already locked up when he was already wrapped up in these most recent?
Well, no, he got locked up January of 2014. I got locked up September of 2014.
Oh, okay. So pretty much pretty close to the same time period.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So now, do you think? Now obviously, I'm going to ask you some questions, and if there's certain things you don't really feel comfortable talking about, you could just be like, "Yeah, I don't really want to talk about that." But is he in charge of the Bonanno crime family?
No, he's not in charge. He was asked several times after Joe Messino had flipped, but he never wanted to take the chair. He always just said that he would stay a captain, and he always wanted, and they made him a captain on the committee. So basically, he sets rules for the family, and that's what he always kept. But he was always respected because when the guy Tommy D actually had the family, Vinny was basically running the family through him, and Tommy was with him constantly, and Vinny was basically guiding him and showing him what to do.
Okay, so in a way, he was pretty much behind the scenes kind of running the show, but he didn't want the title to where it would pull the heat with the feds kind of putting a magnifying glass on him.
Right. Well, that's what he always said, but he just didn't want the title, he said. I don't know, that's always what it was. He just didn't want it. They asked him like 2 or 3 times, I remember.
And that says a lot because, you have guys like John Gotti that are just so egotistical that they want that. Vinny's mentality is more of like the old school gangster mentality, the old way.
He was definitely a real gangster, I'll tell you that much. And there's not many left out there, but he was definitely real deal.
Right.
Vicious, very violent, even at his old age. He was a very mean guy. People a lot of people look up to him and say, "Oh my God, Vinny, you can't go up to him and talk to him. He's not going to speak to you if you don't know." These guys don't understand how these people really operate.
Right.
So. He was, not a very nice man. I got along with him, but at times, he would flip out on me for no reason. And, nobody really talked to me like that but him. But, that's just the way he was,
So, like, just little things could set him off kind of thing?
Oh, my God, yeah. Anything, You come 10 minutes late to a meeting, he's going ballistic on you. If he tells you to be there at 11 o'clock and you come at 11:10, you can get something thrown at you. That's the way he was.
Like, who are you to make me wait for you?
Exactly.
Right.
And that's exactly how he was,
It's interesting because, when I talked to Andrew DiDonato, he was under Nicky Carrazzo, and he, right. He was saying the same thing because I was asking him, Nicky's, at the time, I was like, Nicky's about to get back out on the street. What do you think he'll do? Do you think he'll just kind of like live out his old age? And Andrew's like, dude, that guy is like bleeds gangster. He's not just going to sit around. He's going to do something,
He was in my Uncle Andy's crew. He got straightened out by my Uncle Andy. That was his favorite. That was the real deal guy, he always said. Everyone always said Nicky Carrazzo. That whole Carrazzo family was the only real tough one.
Right.
They said Nicky was the real bad one. And, like I said, Nicky, they always claim that he was the boss. I can't lie to you and tell you because I never heard of him. I never heard that. But, they always said that he was in charge. But, I didn't know that for sure,
When John Sr. got sent away, they did like a ruling panel, and I think Nicky was on that 3-man panel,
I'm sure, because he was so respected and feared, he really was, and any old timer will tell you that, he was a very respected, feared man, and not a very big man if you ever seen him, but he was very feared.
Right.
Yeah.
It's more or less, these guys are like just sociopathic tendencies that people fear because they're unpredictable. They don't know what these people are going to do.
Right.
I think Anthony Casso was like that too, and the guy would, set off car bomb.
Yes.
So let's talk about like your activity. Like, what was obviously you were an enforcer.
Basically, I control all the loans in the sports. So I would do all the collecting for the loan sharking and the sports betting. So, I would get a list for the week of what guys I had to meet for the sports betting, but the loan sharking was pretty much consistent. It was the same guys over and over. And the guy that I worked for was making about $1.5 million a year in loans. So he had about $3 million out in the street. So he was a big, big loan shark. And that was Ronnie Gialonzo. He's one of the biggest loan sharks around. And, I would collect about $30,000 a week for him just in loans. This is like a everyday, all-day thing. And he ran a very big operation, and his sports was also huge too. And for the most part, he wouldn't let you beat him on $1. If you shorted him $1, he wanted the dollar next week, and this guy's making mega money.
Right.
That's just the way he was. You know what I mean? And that's why he had the money that he had. But like I said, if somebody would act up with the money or someone would disrespect, that was my department.
Right.
And I would take care of it, either beat you up or whatever they wanted me to do to you. Depending on the on what you did.
Right. And obviously, at the end of the day, these guys want to get, it doesn't do them any justice to kill somebody, because then they know they're never going to get their money back. But if somebody, keeps jerking them around, they got to kind of send a message.
It depends on how you do it. It's words with us. Like if you say, go fuck yourself, get it in blood or something like that, where if you like, fuck you, then you might go to the extreme. But if you're just a deadbeat and you haven't messed up, you might get cracked around a little bit or whatever. But if you blatantly say you're beat, that's when they have to put action on you, because now everyone will know, oh, wow, this guy's a pushover. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So when you make it clear to us that you're not going to pay us, that's when something bad will happen to you. I had actually shot somebody over that. So someone had said they weren't going to pay us, and I actually was sent to shoot somebody over that. So I know firsthand with him. So like I said, that's the way he is. But if you're a deadbeat and you have a little problems, he'll send you to crap you, maybe slap you around. But if for the most part, he's not going to get you killed over. You can't pay in a few dollars. That's just unrealistic. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's only if you basically tell us "fuck you."
Right.
You know what I mean?
Or just trying to just avoid, like, hey, I'm moving to Jersey, and I'm just not gonna just pretend like I don't know it.
Right. But here's the thing with the loan department: somebody always vouches for you. So basically, if you bring someone to me and you say, "Oh, this is so and so," I'm gonna say, "Okay, well, you're responsible for the money if he leaves." You get what I'm saying? So if you bring somebody I don't know. Basically, the money's on you now. So if you borrow $20,000 and the juice is $500 a week, $600 a week, wherever it is, and he leaves, that's on you. I'm coming to your door every week. So that's how we do it. We usually only rent to people that we know, or we know it's good for it. We're not just give it to any stranger.
Right.
That's not. Yeah.
I listened to the interview that you and John did together, John Alite, and you were talking about a story where you sprayed somebody's house down with a MAC-10.
Right. No, a Tech 9, but that was because of basically somebody had tried to kill me, and they had not got me, and they shot my innocent friend through the neck.
Oh, and wow.
So they basically did a gangbanger move. That's what we call that. I don't want to say what they really call it, but they call it a gangbang move, and I didn't like it. And no one goes for that. So if you're going to get a target, get the target right, wait for them to come out the house, a bad guy hurt a bad guy. But when you're randomly going down the Grand Central Parkway and just shooting into a car and not caring who you shoot, then it's, all limits are off. So there's no boundaries, So we have to explain ourselves why we shut up your house with your family, and it's because you did a dirtbag move that we're going to do one in return.
Right, teach you a lesson. Right.
Right, because we're not allowed to shoot houses up. That's not what we do. But if you want to do something like that and shoot anybody, basically you're saying go fuck ourselves, and you don't care who you shoot, innocent people or not. So we're going to do the same, and that's what we had to make clear.
Right, yeah, because it could have been your mom in the car, it could have been, or whatever.
Exactly.
Right.
And my innocent friend was shot through his neck and almost died.
Wow.
And he survived. And no one could believe he survived, but he did.
Wow,
yeah.
That's unbelievable.
So they fired 8 shots to a car at us on the Grand Central, trying to get me, and paid Albanians on top of it. Not even do it himself, and did it like that. But I know for a fact that the Albanians are wild people. They have no regards.
Right. Well, and they come from like a very Warren background for the most part, and so they're
basically like the Italians when we first came over. When the Italians first came over in the early 20s, whatever it was, and they were really, really bad, that's how the Albanians are when they came over now.
How did you get to know John initially?
Johnny Alite, well, like I said, we grew up in the same area, but like I said, I met him when I was younger, but he had left when I was young, but he was close to my family. And he was always known as like one of the worst guys around town, you know what I mean? So, whoever says that he wasn't is just saying that because, whatever we did, they're going to talk bad about you because they're mad at you, but in all actuality, he was terrorizing,
Right.
And that was the truth, So everyone knew who he was and what he was doing. It's like, for instance, when John Gotti Jr. goes on national TV and he talks to the world, nobody knows what he's saying. He can say whatever he wants. Johnny Alite's on record in my crew. I'm not a rat, but I sat with the feds. I lied to them. These are all mafia illegal things he's saying. Like if you're going to to sit there and say things and sound like a rat, you pretty much are a rat. You know what I mean? Like, for you to say that you're an acting boss and say that you sat with the feds and just told them all lies. Can you imagine me going to Vinny Asaro or Ronnie saying, listen, guys, I sat with the feds, I told them all lies, I'm good, right? Take me back? Yeah, sure. As soon as I walk out the door, they're going to be plotting on to kill me. You know what I'm saying? So that's like, you know, nobody knows what he's talking about. When he says Johnny A-Light's on record in his crew, he's basically telling everybody that he was a made member in the family and that he brought A-Light to his captain, introduced him, and said, A-Light's with me now, in a mafia crew, not a construction crew, not a fucking window washing crew, in the mafia. So that's what he's saying on national TV. And then he had, you know, I don't want to get into it with these guys because they love the attention, but I'm saying it's just the fact that when you just be who you are. If you shot with the feds, you did a cooperation, just be real. You know, say what you did. You ain't got to lie and say, you know, 50-50. You can't be a half a rat. You know what I'm saying? You cooperated, man. Everyone knows that. You shot with the feds. Listen, I can tell you this right now, man. I just came off the street. I was tackle people in 2016. That's the last time. I'm so relevant. When I tell you that that name is known as a joke in Howard Beach or any mafia neighborhood, it is known as the last name is Dean Johnson. It's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? It's not, it has no like relevancy to the mafia. Just to the people that don't know them. It's like, oh my God, Gotti. But in actuality, in mafia neighborhood, they're looked at as a joke.
Right.
You know, you have a reality show, you have Gotti Jail, Gotti, those bullshit they do. Nobody respects that name no more. Once the grandfather died, that was it. You know, that was it. It's over.
Well, and that's the thing, and that's what it is. It has become like a brand, and that's the name is a brand. So when you think of, like, for example, if you go to Chicago is capitalized off of the Capone name. They have like they have like Al Capone root beer.
You know, there's nothing over there. It's like the Philadelphia mob.
Right.
You know, there's like 10 guys. You know what I mean? It's like shrunken. You know, I was actually locked up with the guy that killed the chicken man, Philly Testa, that blew him up. I'm actually friends with him. And we were in jail together. And, you know, he blew him up with a C4 bomb in his car. And his son took over, Salvi Testa. And Salvi Testa was a real bad guy, as I was told. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, a guy that comes into power like that is respected because he had balls. A guy like John Gotti Jr., who took over the family, who has no balls there, and nobody really respects that. You know what I mean? So when you take over the power, you know what I mean, you got to be respected and feared. You know, nobody respected and feared him. I can tell you that.
Yeah, at least Senior, he came up under an old school gangster. He was a street guy. So John Senior was respected in that regard. He was a blue collar gangster. But from everything that I've been told by guys who have known him and or have worked with him, have basically all said the same thing. You know, it's a guy that was born with a silver spoon in his mouth and didn't earn his way.
It's the guy like Michael Prentice, and I'm not talking bad about the guy, I don't know him personally, but it's just like, you know, same thing. Would these guys even be in the mafia if their fathers weren't who they were?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, you understand something like me, I came up in the street where I'm doing things myself. I'm not talking about other people's crimes, I'm talking about what I did when I sat on somebody. When I did what I did, when I shot people, when I beat up people, I did it. Not set somebody, I did it.
Right.
So it's different, you know what I mean?
Well, and not only that, you even went into a whole other family. You didn't go into the
I had to show myself, right. And my cousin became a cooperator, so that everybody knew that was my cousin. So it was harder for me, you know, to get involved, you know. But you know, the Bonanno family did take me in.
I mean, did anyone ever try to put you in a tough situation when your cousin flipped to try to get to him, or at that point?
Never.
Okay. Good.
No, never.
Right.
Never.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah, because
but like I said, even for him, let's go into him. Poor Anthony, you know, he did 10 years. He comes home, he gets hit with a cold case murder. He has a fundraiser, asking people to help him. They give him $500. Come on, man. You know, the guy says, I just want a fighting chance. I'm getting hit with killing my own brother-in-law. They got me locked up, you know. I've been home 6 months. I ain't got no money for a lawyer. Help me. Nobody would give him $1. You know, and that's like, it's like, come on, man. Like, what do you want the guy to do? You want him to sit there? He's ready to take the time, you know, trying to fight. But he's over. You give him a fundraiser and you give $500. That's what his father's little crew gave. $500. They're all rich. How do you do that? It's like such a spit in the face. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's just the way they are.
Well, and then they wonder why people flip on them. Everybody has their reason for doing everything. So I'm not one of these quote-unquote mob journalists like, oh, he's a rat, blah, blah. It's like, I'm a journalist. It's like, I'm glad you guys are bettering yourselves because that's a dead-end life. you know?
Yes.
And I'm not here to glorify the mafia. I'm just here to preserve history and get an understanding of that life and share it with people that's foreign to, you know? And,
right. So, and you guys understand, the guy I worked for personally hated John Gotti Jr. Ronnie Gialonzo hated him with a passion. And they did not get along at all. Ronnie could not stand him. Because I had brought the grandson around, he was mad about it. He's like, I don't want these kids around. I says, he's a good kid. He's like, no, I don't want him. Because I don't want them around. They're assholes. They're jerk-offs. I hate them. They all fucking want to be newspapers and talk and all this shit. He goes, no, don't bring them around. I was like, just give the kid a shot. And he let me give him a shot.
So now this was Peter Gotti's son, right?
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I remember that case. He got hemmed up pushing dope. Now he was working directly under you, right? The grandson.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
He was just doing things for me. Right.
Right. So at that point, did no Gottis in the family, like cousins or anything, had anything that nobody has been in?
Nothing to do with mafia. Nothing.
Right.
Nothing.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like nothing. Like nothing.
Right.
Yeah, just all John's, all seniors' brothers were locked up and stuff, but, that was it. There's nothing in the street, as far as the street, there was nothing that was Gotti Mafia, except for the little grandson that was working for me, with the Bonanno family.
Right, in the Bonanno family, yeah, that's right. His situation, he went to, obviously went to prison for selling, what was he selling, coke or heroin?
No, he was selling Rocosets, those pills.
Oh, okay, like Roxycontins or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what's he do? The first thing he does when he gets locked up, invites the Daily News in to talk to him. Why would you do that? You're fighting a case. I didn't go bad. I'm still sitting here not understanding. Why would you invite the Daily News in to talk to them and then tell them, I did this because I had to live up to my name. What name are you living up to? Selling drugs? How's that living up to your name? That doesn't make any sense what you're saying. He just wanted, they love to be in the spotlight.
And the irony about it is they are their own worst enemy.
Another thing, like you could say real quick, is that when John Gotti Jr. gave his ceremony, says, this is how I was inducted into the family. I personally know friends that were shelved for that. They were told somebody on wiretap how they were brought into the family, and they were shelved. Shelved means they were taken, their membership was taken away.
Right.
So you cannot talk about that in any circumstances to anybody. And it was if you're known to talk about your ceremony, you can even be killed for that.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, to get off the Gotti topic, which is showing the world like how much of a bullshit he is, and he's telling all these lies on TV, saying he's not a rat, when you're basically saying all rat things. All rat things. That's what you're saying.
Right. Well, not only that, the guy kept a ledger of all the mafia members that showed up at his wedding.
Yes.
And how much money they gave him.
Yes.
It's like, who even does that?
Right.
Even put the mafia aside, what kind of person does that? I don't have a ledger of, who gave me what at my wedding.
Right.
It's not about that. But he's in the mafia, and he's putting down criminals' names who are tied in with a secret society criminal organization, supposedly, that he, a secret society that he's part of or was part of, and is going to put down how much money. Well, where did that money come from? Obviously, it's illegal money. So if the feds get this ledger and it says, Petey Walnuts over here gave me, $500,000, that right there could create some sort of RICO issue for all those people on that list.
Like, you tried to make deals, like you shot, you did 302s, that's illegal. You get killed for that. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, you can't play both sides of the fence, man. Like me, I went bad, I say it, I cooperated. Like, you can't do that. You can't say, I'm not a rat. Like, you shot. Once you sit, that's it. You're considered a rat no matter what you say.
Right.
So that's it.
Like in New York, what is the strength of the five families, like each five family? Like, what is the...
Like I can tell you this, the Colombo family pretty much don't exist no more. They're wiped out. I don't know if they're rebuilding now, but I know like pretty much the whole structure and all the big killers and everybody cooperated, and that family is just smoked. There's nothing left. The Bonanno family's still good. The Gambino family, the Lucchese family, but the strongest always is the Genovese family. That's the top. They always call them the Rolls Royce of the Mafia. That is pretty much the strongest family right now, and always is. And you know what it is with them? They run it very smartly. I gotta tell you, another captain cannot know another captain's business. They run it very, very smart, and they never get caught for any real violence. If you really see, they really don't. They're more business. They're very smart. It's not like in my case there was tons of violence. In a lot of cases, tons of this, that. They're not. They're more very. businesses and just non-violent. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, and that is kind of like the old mafia way of doing things. Because
right, and they do run a very smart, and I'll be honest with you, they have no cooperation. I don't know why, because none of them are facing real time. So when you don't have the shootings and the murders and all that stuff, nobody's getting 20, 30 years. Everybody's getting 5. Who the fuck can't do 5 years? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, when you start getting hit with my charges and all the crazy charges, it's like, oh, you're getting 40 years. Now everybody's in a different spot now, because you're doing this cowboy shit. But when you're doing loan sharking, gambling, and a little fraud and stuff like that, you're not going to get no serious time. So they do it very smartly, that family. They're, they are. They're top of the food chain right now. With the Bonanno family, I know guys that got straightened out after 2 years. They don't even know you. They just, a lot of families just put guys in. They don't even know what they're really about, what they're capable of with the Genovese family. Who I had friends that were with that family. It takes 10 years just to be noticed. 10 years of full, you have to be on record. We're a member or whatever for 10 years just to be even thought of becoming a member.
Well, and think about that. I mean, that really 86s out any undercover people that are trying to infiltrate, because, they're not going to have an undercover agent on a taxpayer's payroll, going into the Genovese family to wait 10 years to kind of get their foot further in the door when they could go infiltrate the Gambino or the Bonanno family and have their foot in the door, within a year. You know what I mean?
Right.
I pulled up an article on you. I think it was a New York Daily News, either Daily News or the New York Post, one of them. But and it was saying that the people in Queens were afraid that you're going to get out of prison and start terrorizing them again.
Right. It was really wild. That's what put the bullseye on my back, because I was just a wild guy and I was doing a lot of cowboy shit, and I used to get messages sent to me from old time mafia guys and other families. 20 years ago you'll be dead. I sent back, well, this ain't 20 years ago and I'm not dead. I was cocky and arrogant a little bit, and but I was just really out of control, and they basically showed me that they weren't playing with me when they came with these indictments, and it was 3 different ones, from three different state, federal, and Florida. When I was locked up by the state organized for this was, I just, I was in the bullpen. I said to the head detective, I says, well, what am I a suspect in? He looks at me, he goes, everything. I says, okay. He goes, we're going to get back to lock you up again, and again. I says, okay. I knew I was in trouble.
Right.
I says, oh, this is it. They're not playing. I'm never going to see the street again. This is over for me. So that's how mad they were with me. They just wanted me off the street, pretty much. That's what they were saying. And, people, even good guys and bad guys were pulling up Crime Stoppers on me. Literally. They were pulling up on me to get me off the street. So, it got really bad.
So, with the other families and stuff, would they outsource violence, to other, gangbanging organizations like the Crips and the Bloods?
A lot of crews nowadays, what goes on with them now is they live off a name. Their father was a big-time murderer, or their father was a big-time gangster, and they become a member, and they just live off that. They won't really have to do something. Maybe they'll punch somebody or get somebody beat up, and that'll be good enough just to say, oh, well, he's a gangster, we got to pay him, and they really never did nothing. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's how a lot of them live now. For my crew, when I was under Ronnie G, we had me, Patavona, Pudgy, Mike Palmacio, and a few other guys. And Patavona was a tough guy. I was. Palmacio was and Pudgy was a complete clown. And when I tell you complete clown, I mean he was almost a girl being in the mafia. He was robbed once a week. He was victimized once a week. This guy, every week we had was over him. He shouldn't even been in the mafia. And those are the guys that you get sometimes. But why was he around? I'll tell you why. He was giving Ronnie G $10,000 a week. So Ronnie would tell me, Gene, you protect him like he's my son. He's my golden goose. Make sure that everything's good with him. Any beef of his is yours. I said, I understand. So you have to protect the guys that ain't tough, and this is what you get nowadays. Right. So they'll live off a guy like Ronnie G. So Pudgy will go and say, oh, well, you got to pay me because this is Ronnie's money, and Gene's going to come get you if you don't pay.
Right, you're not going to see, right, it's not me.
Right. So now the guys will call me and go, Gene, am I going to have to have beef with you? And I said, yeah, you are. He's in Ronnie's crew, and, you got to pay that money, and they would pay. And that's how it would work. That's how punks like that get involved, and that's what ruins it. I mean, guys that literally have no balls, never looked at a gun, never would even think about hurting somebody, but they pay a gangster, and the gangsters don't realize that they're clowns, and they take them in just for the money, and it makes us look weak. You know what I mean? So that's basically what goes on nowadays. It's all about the money.
Right.
I'll tell you you something funny, man. It's like the guy Mike Pomacio, who was a great friend. He was a good friend of mine. He was a main guy with the Bonannos, and he was a money guy too, and also. And I remember like he had no mafia sense, so he knew nothing about the life. He was just a drug dealer that they took in because he was paying them a lot of money. So he gave Vinny and Sarah $50,000, and they made him a member. Now the guy has no clue about the mafia, doesn't even know who guys are. I swear to God, and he's taking modeling pictures on the internet. Now imagine an old timer finding out about a modeling picture. They do find out. So it gets back to the people that he's taking modeling pictures on the internet with his shirt off, with this thing that says Godfather song, and a friend will help you move a couch, but a real friend will help you move a body. This is coming from a made member on the internet. Now, yes, this is not a fake story. So I remember, I'm like, oh my God, they're going to kill this guy. So I'm like, it's 2012, 2013, I believe, and he gets sent for over the picture. I never forget this. He called me. He goes, Gene, come to my house. I said, what's up? I go to the house. He goes, Gene, they just sent for me. I said, why? He goes, they sent for me in the garage. He goes, they want to see me. He goes, you think they're going to kill me? I said, I don't know. I said, what's it about? He goes, the modeling picture. I said, oh my God, bro. I said, what are you doing? He goes, I don't know, Gene. He goes, I don't think I'm coming out. He was scared of that. You know, he didn't think he was coming out. And it was so funny that a mob guy, long story short, he ended up going to the garage. Jerry Asaro did slap him in his face and shelved him. And, you know, that's like an embarrassment, you know, and this is our crew, but this is what's going on. And I remember Ronnie G saying, Gene, if this was under Joe Messino, he'd have been dead within 24 hours. He goes, with a modeling picture. He goes, you know, and that's what's going on nowadays. You know, it's like such a joke now where things like that are even happening, where it's just becoming like a joke.